They saw Shazam.
Yeah. I'm a Shazam.
How did this come about? What can you tell us about this?
You know, that was a very secretive, even from me, kind of process where you're auditioning for Shazam. Don't worry about what. A grown-up of one of the kids. Here's sides that were the sides read like Jim Carrey kind of like cable guy. So I mean they're made up. The writer who wrote the movie wrote the audition scenes, but they were had no relation to the movie. Just some broad comedy they wanted to kind of see. And you know, I went in a little office and put it on tape and left and didn't really think about it or hear because it's such a big thing and I didn't have any inside information. I felt like I was kind of like, you know, filling something out and sending it in the mail and honestly not really thinking about it. And then like a month later, I got a call that I got it. Like, oh, cool.
The casting, I will say, was impeccable. You played the superfied Freddy, the older version of Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, that kid is a talent. But are you looking at all at his performance, considering you're playing?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I wanted to. And I got there when we were ready to shoot. And I'm like, wait, can I just see? Like, we're about to go, but can I see? Like. And David, the director's like, "Oh, you want to?" Yeah, okay. And he played me some. I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, my stuff in the movie is so minimal that I didn't have that much opportunity to really. And they did it. They already did it with us casting. You know, they cast it right to where, in a way, I didn't have to, you know, try too much. Our energies are similar, and it just sort of worked out very naturally. But yeah, I'd like to tell you that I shadowed him for 6 months and became him, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, fans have pointed this out, and I know David has talked about it a little as well. But kind of like a homecoming or a return to DC in a lot of ways. You were at one point the Flash in George Miller's Justice League movie, which unfortunately never came to be. But was that ever sort of discussed, or was that sort of in the back of your mind when you took this on, that you were returning to DC?
DJ Catrona is in it too, and he was going to be Superman. So we spent a few weeks together in Australia a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I'm getting old. I just throw words around like decade and 20 years all the time now. Yeah. Everything, if it's not less than 10 years ago, it's nothing to me. Anyways, and so, yeah, I mean, you know, it wasn't necessarily to us so symbolic that the DC universe or whatever, it was just, but it was funny, and it was nice that we had that in common. And here we are again, fight training, you know, and getting our tights fitted. It was our super suits. It was no, I mean it was a thrill, and it was nice. It was a nice full circle situation. I mean, you know.
I mean, clearly you guys were fated to be in the DCEU, clearly. But what can you tell us? Like, what do you remember about that experience the first time around? Was that a major drag when that didn't pan out?
Yes. However, you know, and in hindsight, I should have been more bummed. I really liked it, but I just kind of felt like, you know, no big deal, the next thing, and then it kind of did, but it kind of didn't. You know, nothing like that came along again. Yeah. But I, at the time, I'll say this, the script was really good. It was it's not that it was revolutionary, but it just, and I'm pretty objective about this kind of thing, and I think I have a pretty good gauge of scripts. And it was very solid, and they cast it. I thought the casting was right, not just myself, but like everyone tonally is going to fit right. And I mean, I was so excited to work with George Miller, and at the same time, because he was a legend and he was very nice. Yeah. But at the same time, nobody, I mean, I didn't have any idea. I bet Warner Brothers didn't have any idea what a fucking badass he still was, because he hadn't made a live action movie in like 15 years. Yeah. I mean, he'd made like Babe 2 was the more, you know, and Happy Feet. Yeah. And so, yeah, he's the like Australian Spielberg, but who knows? And then, you know, you see Mad Max now and you're like, oh my God, he's as fresh as anyone. I mean, he's ahead of the curve. I mean, so, you know, in hindsight, it hurts more actually, because I'm like, that would have been a classic movie.
After seeing what he did.
After seeing what he did, and knowing the script and knowing the, you know, and knowing the actors involved, and I think it would have been amazing. Also, I will say that although in this version I was very well suited to this script's version of The Flash, and I grew up reading comics, I read them a lot even in my 20s, love them, know a lot about that stuff. I was never actually a Flash reader or fan, so I didn't have a particular affinity for that part. It didn't kill me in that way, but it was written, we would have been a nice match very well. And yeah, I swear in hindsight it hurts more than it did at the time. At the time, I was like, it was also a slow fade out because it was like 2 weeks, okay, they lost the tax credit, there's the writer's strike, we're gonna go back after Christmas, you know, we were there for 2 weeks, and then I was like, go back because it's Christmas, and then we'll all come back out in 2 weeks and 3 weeks and get going. And then, okay, well, maybe it's gonna be a week later, okay, well, the writer's strike, and then it kind of faded out. It wasn't like we were all there and then got our, you know, got our pink slips or something. So,
yeah. But I mean, let's look forward, because the way Shazam ends, it seems to imply you guys are going to come back. Have you guys talked about a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard, you know, enthusiastic rumblings and more so, but I definitely don't know anything official. Yeah. But I would say that it's you know.
It's likely.
It seems likely and warranted, and I'm very excited. Awesome. Hope we do.